Hey guys, I hope everybody's doing amazing. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend and a wonderful Father's Day and all that. And guys, I hope you guys are doing great. Of course, I did tell you guys about my challenges with YouTube, and now YouTube has decided to remonetize my channel again. So there you go. If you wanna support the channel, you can feel free. There's super chat, super thanks, and all that back again. There you go. We don't know how long it will last this time, guys, but yeah. And of course, once again, Harry and Meghan have been dominating the headlines, guys. Again, watch this.
Harry and Meghan, have they fallen out of favour?
No, you haven't, because here they are again being discussed on television. So it's quite clear, without Harry and Meghan's name,
they're talking about the Spotify.
Discuss about the royal family. Let's be honest, we all know the other.
Yeah, I love this lady.
And actually,
boring.
Even if Harry didn't write his book Spare, there is a lot of us with common sense who could see what the British media were doing. It's quite obvious that there's always in-house fighting from all the palaces, and it's quite clear that the palaces for years, since the days of Diana, been sharing information. So people aren't silly. What happens is production team always throws out some question about Harry and Meghan, waiting for negativity. But people get it. People know that Harry's not being treated right.
We don't always get negativity. Sometimes with Carol, we get individuals like yourself calling up and taking part in the conversation.
What a bunch of crap.
I know you get
bullshit
positive
face
comments as well.
I'm wondering.
I know you get positive comments, but what I'm saying is, it's the question sometimes: have people fallen out with Harry and Meghan, which could trigger the hate which we've just seen from the guy. I have to agree with Narendra on this. Harry and Meghan are loved around the world. Trust.
Carol, I object to you saying, firstly,
look at this
hate, but secondly,
look at this piece of.
they could always.
He looks like a piece of trash. This guy.
Let's be real.
They could always.
The toxic media, the toxic TV, it's been relentless on Harry and Meghan. And yet Philip Schofield was just in the news for 2 weeks, and how many people were saying, "Get off his back." It could be suicidal for him.
Well,
it's
Carol,
really
we also discussed Philip.
Yeah, I don't want to hear what that guy has to say. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you because that was this lady that called into one of those programs. They had this question about, have Harry and Meghan fallen out of favor? Because, they were talking about the Spotify deal and all that, the whole thing. So I just wanted to show you that. That woman was telling them the truth about things. And that lady, the look on her face was like, when you get caught, you look like if, like they probably didn't expect this lady to say all this stuff. I don't know what the pre-screener, what she told this pre-screener, but I'm beginning to think they wouldn't have let her on if she had said this before. She probably said something completely different. That's what you gotta do, guys. You gotta call in, say some different shit, and then switch it up on them. I think this is what happened. But either way, guys, there's been all kind of crap going on. Okay, so apparently they had Trooping the Color on the weekend, apparently, and of course, the whole big thing was, was Harry and Meghan, they weren't invited and all this stuff. Listen, if Meghan didn't go to that coronation foolishness, there's no way she would have gone for that Trooping the Color foolishness either. And the funny thing about this Trooping the Color ignorance, guys, I never heard of Trooping the Color until Meghan came along, and once or twice that I actually was interested was when Meghan was there. Right? I was interested when Meghan was there. Now I could care less, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. There's so many other people who could care less about Trooping the Color. And they keep trying every year to get us interested, talking about, is Meghan gonna come? Meghan didn't get invited. This and that about Meghan. All this crap. And I'm like, I'm not interested when Meghan's not there. So all this talk about, Harry and Meghan didn't get invited. I could care less. And now we got a new story. Guys. A new story is out. Apparently, Meghan has signed, according to the haters and the press and the trolls and whoever, apparently she has signed a $20 million deal with Dior. Dior. I'm like, you know what? If that was the case, if it's the case, then great. But if not, then I'm like, I'm not surprised that, all they do is come up with stories about Harry and Meghan. I don't know if it's true or not. I think I heard someone was saying that they came out and the spokesperson came out and said, no, it's not true. Either way, whether or not, who came up with this story? The press. The same people who come up with the stories about Harry and Meghan day in and day out. So, they're the ones who make the stories. And then, they come on TV and say, or they come on the internet streets or whatever and say, why don't they go away? Why don't they shut up? When all they do is come up with stories about Harry and Meghan. That's all they do. Did somebody ask if Harry and Meghan were, if Meghan had signed a deal with Dior? Did somebody ask that? No. This came up, it was the press who came up with this. And, there's people who want to say it was Meghan that leaked that story or whatever. Meghan doesn't have to leak stories about her own self. She's one of those people who does not need to leak stories of herself. It's as simple as that. She just lives her life and does her thing, and people keep talking about her all the time, and it's just a simple thing. So she doesn't need to leak stories about her own self. But either way, guys, if it's true, that would be amazing. But if it's not true, it's just another story. It's just another story that, that the press made up and then they spewed it out there. And then they come back around and they try to blame Harry and Meghan about it. Yeah. And, pity for the people who actually believe these things. It's a pity for the people who actually believe this thing. I also had to talk about that guy from Spotify who said that Harry and Meghan are drifters or whatever, or not drifters, grifters. I think that's what he tried to say, that they're grifters. Funny that you would call grifters the people who actually work for their money. So the royal family, they're not grifters? I'm confused. The people who sit there and take taxpayers' money and do a couple of engagements a year and that's it, wave and smile and that's it, show up to charities empty-handed. Those are the people who you are. That's where, guys, this whole thing loses me. The whole narrative that people hate Meghan and Harry. This is where this whole thing loses me, because the whole thing makes no sense. It makes zero sense, because a person like this guy that's calling Harry and Meghan grifters, when they're trying to make their own money, when they're making their own money, and I think he's American, if I'm not mistaken. So this is so far and from between, or whatever, you guys know what I'm saying. This is so not the American way of life, is it? Just not. The funny thing is they're trying to make, the only Americans who hate on Harry and Meghan, you know who they are? The ones that work in the press. Did you ever realize this? That the only Americans who really seem to hate Harry and Meghan are the ones who work in the media. And I believe that there is an incentive for them. I believe there's an incentive somewhere. Somebody's paying them, or somebody is giving them that incentive to go out there and talk crap about Harry and Meghan. They have an incentive, because there's no way that a regular person on the street, in America, a regular person on the street, an American or whoever, Canadian, whatever, a regular person on the street who just lives their life is not going to sit there and call Harry and Meghan, who actually work for a living, they're not going to sit there and call them a grifter. And there's probably some reason why this guy is all upset with Harry. right? There's probably some reason because, he's disgruntled. He's disgruntled about something, And also, I had to say about the Spotify deal as well, guys. I don't understand why people are walking around saying that this is a failure and this is this and this is that. I believe, and people are trying to rewrite history as well, because Meghan's podcast was number one. It even knocked Joe Rogan's off at least once or twice, right? And it was number one. And for a first-time podcast, she did amazing. She won 2 awards. She won the People's Choice Awards and she won a Gracie Awards for the podcast. Are people trying to forget this? Like, I don't understand. Just because people have parted ways with a company, it doesn't mean that, that they don't want, or all it means is that they came to a conclusion, or they came to a consensus that this is not working or that's not working, and we're going to move on and we're going to do something different. It doesn't mean that they failed. And even if they failed, there's nothing wrong with fail. But Harry and Meghan, or Meghan, because it was her podcast, did not fail. Just because a company decides to walk away and say, you know what, we need more, we need this, we need that, and maybe it isn't just not working, it doesn't mean that it's a fail either. That's all I'm trying to say here. Harry and Meghan walking away from a deal is not a fail. And even if it's a fail, there's nothing wrong with a fail, but that's not a fail. If you win 2 awards for your podcast, the first time you came out, you won an award won 2 awards for your podcast. And then you also were within the top 10 all the time of the duration of the podcast. She was at the top all the time. So how is that a fail? I don't understand why people are trying to rewrite history here. Have I lost it, guys? Have I lost it? I don't understand. It is interesting to me because just because Harry and Meghan have moved on from that deal doesn't mean that it was any kind of feelings or they did anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. They did everything right, in my opinion, because she won 2 awards for her podcast. The People's Choice Award for the podcast, and people are walking around talking shit about the podcast. What is going on? This is archetypes we're talking about. The podcast that was at the top of the charts all the time. All the time. It was within the top 5 all the time continuously, and if not in the top 5, at least in the top 10 for a podcast, a first-time podcast. So I don't know where people are getting the idea to rewrite history here, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, that's what's happening. People are trying to rewrite history when it comes to that. But anyways, yeah, so I just thought I'd clear the air on that one, because I don't understand where people got that idea that Spotify was anything but a success. I mean, Archetypes was anything but a success. Archetypes was a complete and total success. The fact that Meghan and they retain, Archetypes retain the rights to that, and they can take it wherever they want to go, that is a win. Because to me, I think, you know what, they can take it, they can make more money somewhere else, they can do whatever the hell they want. Okay? But anyways, I just wanted to clear that up, because I don't understand why people are saying just because a company decides to go a different way or whatever, that this is something that's reflecting bad on Harry and Meghan, or Meghan. It's not, in my opinion. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to give my 2 cents, or whatever you want to call it, on this whole topic. And guys, if Meghan really did do the Dior thing, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh my gosh. Anyways, I cannot afford anything from Dior, but I would scrunch to buy something. I would scrunch to buy at least one thing from there if it was true. I can't afford Dior. I would love some Dior sunglasses. That's my epitome. So if she were to do a line of that, and I don't know how much Dior sunglasses are, but they'd be expensive. I would buy the sunglasses. I would save for a year, whatever I have to do, guys. Get a second job, or extra job, I should say, because I already have a couple jobs. So maybe I'll take an extra job. But yeah, I would do whatever to be able to maybe get, because yeah, Dior sunglasses, yeah, that's the thing. If Megan was to come up with some Dior sunglasses, guys, oh my gosh, that would be great. But anyways, because you know what they always say, if you can't afford expensive clothes and stuff or anything like that, if you want to buy something from like for instance, I can't afford anything from Prada, but I have the Prada candy perfume. Yeah. So if you want to get something that's designer and you can't afford it, you get the perfume, or you get like, you know, something small from them, you know, like something that's manageable. So if she was to come up with a perfume, you know, Dior, you know, perfume by Megan or whatever, I don't know, I would get that, or maybe the sunglasses. But yeah, so like I was saying, if you can't afford expensive clothes, what you do, you get a nice sunglass, and you can get like a sunglasses for like maybe like a couple $100. That could be your thing to say, okay, that's me. And or you get a bag, an expensive bag, you know, instead of if you don't want to, instead of buying the expensive clothes, because you don't need expensive clothes, because there are nice clothes everywhere, you get a Dior sunglass, or you get a Dior lipstick or something like that, if you want to get a little bit of luxury, you know, without spending a whole lot. And it pops, it makes your look pop. You can wear like $10 slippers, guys, $20, well, maybe like let's say some jeans or something. And if you're wearing a nice bag and a nice sunglass, it pops. There you go. That's a little tip, a little fashion tip from Olive P today. Anyways, guys, I'm so happy to talk to you guys. I will talk to you in the next one. And guys, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this. And you can, once again, if you want to donate to my channel, super thanks, super chats, whatever is fine again. Until the next time. Anyways, I will talk to you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll talk to you in the next one, guys. Bye.